It was 2011. Muammar Gaddafi was still standing, defiant. But in Washington, D.C., a young president faced a choice. Barack Obama, the son of an African father, the hope of a generation, sat in the White House Situation Room. His top advisors, Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, Samantha Power, all pushed for war. They claimed Gaddafi was about to massacre civilians in Benghazi.
Today, I authorize the Armed Forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya in support of an international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
And with those words and a single nod, Obama gave the green light. Soon, NATO jets darkened the Libyan skies. Missiles rained down, and Africa's dream of United States of Africa went up in flames. Publicly, they called it a humanitarian intervention. They said it was about saving lives. But look deeper. Libya had the highest standard of living in Africa. It had no foreign debt. It was building independent African banks to rival the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. And Western powers feared that. Even years later, Obama admitted Libya was the worst mistake of his presidency. But by then, it was too late. Gaddafi was dead, Libya was in ruins, and extremist militias ruled the streets. History reveals a painful hypocrisy. The American Civil War killed over 600,000, yet no foreign bombs fell on Washington. The Spanish Civil War slaughtered hundreds of thousands, yet Spain was left to resolve its own destiny. But when Africa stood up to solve its own internal crisis, the West decided it could not be trusted with self-determination. Why are Western nations allowed to fight their civil wars, but Africa is only allowed to surrender? Behind the scenes lurked a darker truth. Investigators in France allege that Nicolas Sarkozy secretly took 50 million euros from Gaddafi to fund his 2007 presidential campaign, twice the legal limit under French law. Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, says bank transfers, documents, and signatures still exist in Tripoli. If true, Sarkozy had every reason to erase the man and the evidence before it could destroy him. And as French jets joined the bombing campaign, one question lingered like smoke. Was this justice or a cover-up disguised as liberation? Obama was celebrated as Africa's son. But when the time came, he unleashed the bombs that shattered Africa's richest nation. He didn't just go along, he led. The airstrikes began only after he signed off. And when Gaddafi was hunted down and killed, Hillary Clinton laughed on camera. We came, we saw, he died. Obama said nothing. So the question burns. Did he betray his own people? We must stop confusing black faces in high places with true liberation. Representation is not revolution. Having African blood does not make you an African ally. Your actions do. If an African leader will not defend Africa's dignity, they are not Africa's friend, no matter the color of their skin. After Gaddafi's death, Libya collapsed into civil war. Human trafficking markets appeared in open daylight. Al-Qaeda and ISIS offshoots flooded the country. African migrants were sold as slaves in what was once Africa's most prosperous state. And Obama, he moved on. No Marshall Plan, no rebuilding, no justice, no apology to SOS. Obama bears responsibility. Maybe he believed the lies his advisors told him. Maybe he feared appearing weak. But history will remember this. The first black president of the United States helped destroy the most advanced black-led nation in Africa. That is a stain that cannot be erased. This is not just history. This is a warning. If we forget what happened to Gaddafi, we will lose more than a man. We will lose the very idea of African freedom. Africa must never again place its future in the hands of outsiders, no matter their skin color. Our freedom will not come from Washington, D.C. or Paris. It must be forged in Tripoli, in Abuja, in Johannesburg, in Nairobi, by us, for us.
In November 2011, days after his father was killed, Gaddafi was captured by the Zintan militia group. 4 years later, he was sentenced to death in absentia for crimes committed during the revolt, including the killing of protesters. But in 2017, he was pardoned by Libya's eastern-based administration. He's also wanted for war crimes by the International Criminal Court, potentially complicating his presidential ambitions. After his release from custody, the precise whereabouts of Saif al-Islam had been shrouded in mystery, but an interview in October with the New York Times set the stage for his political comeback. While a prominent figure, some analysts say he may not prove to be a frontrunner, with the Gaddafi era remembered by many Libyans as one of harsh autocracy. His candidacy comes amid a fragile peace process in Libya. In recent years, the country has been split between two rival administrations backed by foreign forces, but a unity government sworn in March is tasked with steering the nation to UN-backed elections on December 24. There are doubts, though, the poll will go ahead as scheduled, as different factions and political bodies dispute election rules governing who can run.
And maybe, just maybe, if Saif al-Islam Gaddafi rises to lead again, Libya could become the spark that reignites Gaddafi's dream and shows the world that Africa cannot be killed.